The terrifying truth about Palantir. My name's David Carber and I run Palantir Bite-Sized. In today's video, we're debunking another awful attempted hit piece on Palantir. Check this out. The most terrifying company in America is probably one you've never heard of. Most Americans have never heard of Palantir. That's by design. It doesn't make phones or social platforms. It doesn't beg for your data with bright buttons or discount codes. Rather, it just takes it. Quietly, legally, systematically, Palantir is a back-end beast, the silent spine of modern surveillance infrastructure. No, Palantir doesn't take anything. It integrates data already collected by institution, hospitals, militaries, police department with full legal oversight. It doesn't vacuum your phone or listen through your Alexa. It helps governments use the data they already legally possess. If you're worried about privacy, aim your concern at the policies that allow data collection, not the company that just organizes it. Palantir's influence isn't hypothetical, it's operational. From the battlefields of Ukraine to the precincts of Los Angeles, its software guides drone strikes, predicts crime, allocates police resources, and even helps governments decide which children become threats. Palantir doesn't launch drones or label kids as threats. It surfaces patterns so humans can make better decisions. The alternative? Flying blind. If we've learned anything from recent conflicts, it's that tech-informed decision-making saves lives, especially in places like Ukraine, where Palantir's software helped identify enemy movements and coordinate humanitarian aid. These aren't sci-fi hypotheticals. They are pilot programs, already integrated, already scaling. This software, Gotham, Foundry, and now its artificial intelligence platform, otherwise known as AIP, is designed to swallow everything. Hospital records, welfare files, license plate scans, school roll calls, immigration logs, and even your tweets. It stitches these fragments into something eerily complete, a unified view of you. With each data point, these images sharpen. If Facebook turned people into products, Palantir turns them into probabilities. You're not a user, you're a variable, run through predictive models, flagged for anomalies, and judged in silence. And that's a good thing. Predictive analytics are used across healthcare, aviation, finance, and even the weather. Are we worried that hospitals assign probabilities to heart attacks? Palantir simply brings that same intelligence to national security and public services. This isn't dystopian, it's data-driven governance. This is not just surveillance, it's prediction, and that distinction matters. Surveillance watches, prediction acts, it assigns probabilities, it flags anomalies, it escalates risk, and it trains bureaucrats and law enforcement to treat these algorithmic suspicions as fact. In short, the software decides and people follow. You want to know where power is going? Follow the contracts. Palantir isn't growing by solving problems, it's growing by becoming unavoidable. And none of this growth would be possible without the aforementioned Karp. The 57-year-old doesn't resemble the usual Silicon Valley archetype. He wears windbreakers instead of hoodies. He speaks like a philosophy professor giving a TED talk on the death of liberalism. Insiders familiar with Karp describe him in no uncertain terms: batshit crazy, egotistical, and completely unfiltered. He runs Palantir like a personal war room. He quotes Heidegger mid-meeting. He can't drive and lives alone in rural New Hampshire with a full-time ski instructor. He calls himself a socialist and speaks often about defending Western civilization while building tech that quietly erodes its foundation. He practices Tai Chi and advocates for mindful living, but sells software that enables governments to track their citizens. It sounds contradictory until you realize what he's selling isn't ideology, it's order. In his book, The Technological Republic, a not-so-subtle nod to Plato's Republic, Karp makes his intention clear. It's a message. It's a warning. Like Plato, sees democracy not as sacred, but as a flaw. Plato's ideal state was top-down, run by philosopher kings who knew better than the mob. In this view, the average person was too emotional, too chaotic, too easily swayed to be trusted. Karp doesn't just admire that vision, he's coding it. In his world, democracy isn't broken, it's buggy, and Palantir is the patch. This belief manifests in everything the company does. Palantir doesn't sell to consumers, it sells to governments, militaries, and agencies tasked with control. Its growth depends on access and only scales by infringing. The more granular the data, the more profitable the forecast. Palantir stock is skyrocketing. Wall Street appears to have fully embraced the surveillance state, not because it loves the Constitution, but because it sees the future. And the future is profitable. Palantir thrives on volatility because it marks itself as the only defense against it. It needs chaos to justify its growth. No, Wall Street is backing Palantir because it solves real problems at scale. In pandemics, it coordinated vaccine rollouts. In war zones, it protects lives. In hospitals, it streamlines treatment. That's not chaos, it's capability. Its success is tethered to the failure of institution, the erosion of public trust, the acceleration of uncertainty. In a social fraying at the seams, it seems indispensable. What makes Palantir more dangerous than Meta or X isn't what it shows, it's what it hides. Musk, Zuckerberg beg for public attention. Karp cultivates mystery. There are no Palantir influencers, no flashy keynotes, no consumer devices, just contracts, code, and ever-growing access to the organs of the state. This isn't capitalism as we know it. It's something darker, a convergence of public authority and private ambition with no clear accountability. Palantir doesn't lobby the government, it replaces its function. It's not just a vendor, it's an informant, an adjudicator, a silent partner in the constitution of a predictive regime. It doesn't build a better world, it builds a better model of it. One where deviation is risk, dissent is data, and trust is something to be managed, not earned. You're supposed to feel watched. You're supposed to feel uneasy, because if you don't, the system isn't doing its job. It's not about catching you, it's about reminding you that it can. The author of this article wants you to fear Palantir because it works. It's not some shadowy villain pulling strings. It's a company making government more competent. When COVID hit the UK, the NHS was drowning in disconnected systems. Palantir's Foundry platform helped them centralize real-time hospital capacity data, supply chains, patient flows, and enable decisions that quite literally saved lives. This isn't about dystopia, it's about delivering clarity in moments of chaos. The uncomfortable truth is that most public systems are flying blind. Palantir gives them a dashboard. People aren't scared of abuse, they're scared of control being used effectively. But in a world this is complex, inaction is far more dangerous than intelligent. Palantir doesn't undermine democracy, it strengthens it by giving leaders better tools, not more power.